Hello students, in our last lecture we did example number 3.4. Now we will start with example number 3.5. Here a condition of free fall is given. Free fall means if an object is released to fall down freely. In that case we have to draw the graph which represents its motion. And here we have to draw the graph of acceleration versus time. You can see the graph is for acceleration versus time. Then we have to show the graph of velocity versus time, as well as displacement versus time. Now students, remember, when any object is falling freely, that is acceleration is due to gravity, that we have studied earlier, and always the acceleration due to gravity is taken negative. And so here this line which represents the acceleration is in the downward direction, that is along the negative y direction. Time is always positive, so it is along the positive x direction. Now acceleration remains constant. When there is a free fall, the acceleration of a particle or a object remains constant. How much? We know that its value is acceleration A due to gravity is minus 9.8 meter per second square. But here we are going to take that value as round up. We are making this as a rounding value. So it will be minus 10. So as the acceleration is constant here and its value we have taken minus 10, and so with time acceleration doesn't change, so it is a horizontal line. Remember, with time acceleration remains same, it do not change, and whenever any quantity do not change with time, and if we are plotting the graph for that quantity with respect to time, then the line will be horizontal, that is parallel to the time. So I hope you understood this graph, why this line is parallel to the line of time, because it is constant. Now same situation, that is free fall only, but here we have to show that free fall with the help of the graph velocity versus time. Now students, we know that if the object is moving in the downward direction, its velocity and the displacement both will be towards the negative y direction, and so velocity as well as displacement, they are considered negative according to sign convention. If the object is moving in the upward direction, then we used to take displacement as well as velocity positive. If the object is moving along positive x direction, we used to take that velocity or displacement positive. If the object is moving along negative x direction, then we used to take its velocity as well as displacement negative. So remember this sign convention. So here also, as the object is moving in the downward direction, the velocity is negative, and that's why it is taken along the negative y direction. So velocity versus time. Time is always positive, so it is along positive x direction. Now students, we have this equation v is equal to at. Which condition is here? Here the condition is for free fall. And students, remember, we have three equations of kinematics. So here if we want to plot the graph, we need velocity and time. Acceleration is constant. And we have first equation, v is equal to v naught plus at. This is the first kinematic equation. But students, during the free fall, we know that when the object is released from this point, that this point is P. So when it is released, the initial velocity of the particle or the object is 0. So here if we put this initial velocity during the free fall as 0, then we get v is equal to at. And so here it is written v is equal to at. I hope you understood this. So now in this equation, that is v is equal to at. V is equal to a into t. But what is a? It is acceleration due to gravity, which is taken as minus 10 into t. Now at 1 second, see in the graph, if we consider time t is equal to 1 second, and if we put that t is equal to 1 second here in this equation, we will get velocity v is equal to minus 10 into 1, that is minus 10. So at time t is equal to 1 second, velocity will be minus 10. Similarly, if you will put v is equal to t is equal to 2 second. So if you will put this t is equal to 2 second in this equation, then 10 to the 20. Your answer will be minus 20. So at time t is equal to 2 second, the velocity will be minus 20. At time t is equal to 1 second, the velocity was minus 10. Similarly, if you will put time t is equal to 3 second, the velocity will be 30. And so by using these coordinates of time and velocity, we will get these points in a graph. Students, remember which points will be obtained for t is equal to 1 second, velocity is minus 10, they intersect here, you can see. So to plot graph, we will take this point for that. Using t is equal to 2 second, velocity is minus 20, they will intersect at this point. So this is the second point in a graph. Similarly, this will be the third point. And if we join these points, we will get a straight line. You can see starting from the origin, it is a straight line. And so during the free fall, the velocity time graph is straight line. Now next is position time graph. So now to plot a position time graph, that is y versus t, in that case also we have to choose a kinematic equation. So which kinematic equation we can use? We know that first kinematic equation is v is equal to v naught plus at. Here there is no term related to displacement, so this equation cannot be used. Second kinematic equation is x is equal to v naught t plus half at square. You can see here there is a term related to displacement. If the object is moving along the x-axis, we use displacement as x. But here we know that object is moving along the y-axis, that is along the negative y direction. So in place of x, we use to take y as a displacement, is equal to, in place of x, it is y. Initial velocity is 0. So 0 into t is 0. So this term is not required. Now what is required? Only half at square. So half at square, and that's why we have taken this equation. Now let us use this equation. We will put time t is equal to 1 second here in place of t, then time t is equal to 2 second, then 3 second, and so on. And to plot a graph, we need 3 to 4 points only, not more points are required. So now let us put t is equal to 1 second in this equation. Now we know that y is equal to half of g. Value of g is minus 10, and t we are taking 1 second, so into 1 square. So minus 10 divided by 2 is minus 5. So y is equal to minus 5. So here at time t is equal to 1, y will be minus 5. Here I have considered only magnitudes, that's why I have not taken negative sign, but it will be minus. Now similarly, if you will put t is equal to 2 second in this equation, you will get y as minus 20. For t is equal to 3 second, you will get y minus 45. And after getting these coordinates 1, 5, 2 and 20, 3 and 45, and plotting the graph, you will get this type of shape. You can see at time t is equal to 1 second, it is 5. So 5 is between 0 and 10. So I have taken this. So first point is obtained in a graph. For time t is equal to 2 second, it is 20. So this is 20, this is 2 second, it intersects here, these two line intersect here. So second point, at time t is equal to 3 second, we get y as 45. So 45 will be between 40 and 50, so it is here. So this line and time t is equal to 3 second, they intersect here. And we know that initially it is 0. At time t is equal to 0, the position is also 0. So initial point always start with 0 here. So plotting these points, we can get this type of graph, a curved graph. So this is about the position time graph for free fall. So students, here we have used a second kinematic equation. Why we have not used the third kinematic equation? We know that the third kinematic equation is v square minus v naught square is equal to 2ax. Students, here we are plotting graph of t and y, that is displacement. You can see that in this equation there is no variable of time, and so we have not used this third equation. There is a displacement but there is no time, and that's why only second equation can be used to plot this graph of displacement versus time. Now our next example is about Galileo's law of odd numbers. Example number 3.6. Now students, Galileo is a mathematician as well as also he is a physicist. The laws which are given by Newton, actually they were given earlier by Galileo only. What Galileo found? He found that for equal time intervals, if the time interval is taken equal, then the distances traveled will be in the ratio 1 is to 3 is to 5 is to 7 and so on. and you can see that this 1, 3, 5, 7 and so on, they are the odd numbers. So Galileo find this interesting fact about the object falling freely. So you can see from this table that for a free fall, if we consider time initially as 0 second, so at that time what will be the displacement? 0 only. Now at time t is equal to 1 second, so what is the difference of time 0 to 1? It is 1 second. At that time, what is the displacement? Students, in earlier example we have already found that at time t is equal to 1 second, the displacement is -5. Let us give this -5 as y1 only. So here y1 minus 0 is y1. So here we have taken difference between these two. So that is equal to 5 only, because y1 is -5 minus initial, that is 0. So -5 minus 0 will be -5 only. So that is equal to y1 only. Remember this. These both are same. Here this is taken difference of earlier reading. Now at time t is equal to 2 second, what is the displacement? -20. We have seen this in earlier example, how this -20 is obtained for that position time graph. Now students, you can see here. So y2 is -20. Now this y2 is -20. I can write this y2 is equal to -20, which is obtained by that previous process. And this -20 can be written in terms of y1. How? Like this. -20 means it is -5 into 4. You can see -5 into 4 is -20. But what is -5? We have taken here -5 is y1. So this is y1. So 4 into y1. So we have written here this as 4y1. y2 is nothing but it is 4 times of y1. Now if we will use t is equal to 3 second, then what will be the third position, that is y3, that will be -45. Now again writing this y3 in terms of y1, we know that y3 is obtained as -45, but -45 can be written as -5 into 9. 9 5s are 45 and there is negative sign. So this is your y1. You can see here y1 is -5. So 9y1. So we have written this as 9y1. Similarly for 4 also you can write like this. Now students, you can see different displacements is obtained here. Now if we take the difference, delta y means difference. Here it is written delta y1 and delta means it is difference. Now if you take the difference y1 to its previous, so y1 minus 0 is y1. So difference is y1. Again difference of delta y1, this value to its previous value. So y1 minus 0 is y1. Now see this second, delta y2, this value with its previous, this value is 4y1 minus, because we are taking difference, delta we are taking, so its previous value is y1. So 4y1 minus y1 is equal to 3y1. So here it is. Next is y3. For y3, this value minus its previous value. So 9 minus 4 is 5. So 5y1. Similarly for this fourth value, delta y4. So this value minus this value, 16 minus 9 is 7. And so if you will simply consider these numbers in place of y1, here it is 1y1, here it is 3y1, here it is 5y1, here it is 7y1. So 1, 3, 5, 7. So Galileo found this ratio of distances which are odd numbers. Students, here we obtained this minus 5 minus 20 using this equation which we have used in earlier example to obtain the position time graph. Also here we have taken value of g as 10 meter per second square. Now next example is about stopping distance. Example number 3.7, stopping distance or braking distance. Now what is this stopping distance or a braking distance? Students, here a definition is given for that. When brakes are applied to a moving vehicle, the distance it travels before stopping is called braking distance. Means, suppose if a vehicle is moving with a constant velocity, then at this point, suppose at this point a person driving a vehicle applies the brake. So what will happen? Till point 0 to A, the velocity was constant, but now he is applying the brakes at this point, and we know that when the brakes are applied, velocity will decrease, and when the velocity decreases, we call that as an acceleration. But here the acceleration is negative. Why? Because the velocity goes on decreasing after applying the brakes. If the velocity increases, acceleration is positive. But here, when the brakes are applied at this point A, velocity goes on decreasing, and after traveling some distance, the object will stop or a vehicle will stop, suppose at point P. So brakes were applied at point A and object stops at point B. So this much distance is traveled from A to B, and that distance is called the stopping distance. I hope you understand this concept. So students, this velocity when the brakes were applied, at that time the velocity is called initial velocity v0. But after that, due to application of the brakes, acceleration is produced. Here we will call that acceleration as deceleration. As the velocity decreases, what we will use the special word? We will use the word deceleration. And then object stops here. Stops means the final velocity will be 0. And due to application of brakes, the acceleration, suppose A, is produced. So here we have initial velocity v0, final velocity is 0, remember this, and acceleration is A. And we want to obtain the distance traveled, that is, suppose x. This distance AB is x. So distance AB, that is equal to x, is to be obtained. Which variables you can see here? You can see here x, initial velocity, final velocity, and the acceleration which is produced. So which kinematic equation can be used here? So definitely we will use v square minus v naught square is equal to 2ax. So I hope this is clear to you, that only this third kinematic equation can be used to obtain this stopping distance x, because these three things are known to us. Okay, so now here I have written the same thing. There is an initial velocity v0, final velocity is 0 because object is at the halt, it has stopped. X is nothing but it is stopping distance, so we have used the symbol ds. This small s is for stopping and d is for distance, so it is stopping distance. So now using equation number 3, that is this, in place of x we will write ds, so it is here. 2 is as it is, final velocity is 0, initial is there something, so as it is, and you can see main thing, acceleration. As the velocity decreases, it is deceleration, that is negative acceleration. So acceleration is negative in this case. As the velocity decreases, acceleration is minus. So we have kept this equation in this way. Now simple mathematics is there. Make subject ds. You will get this. Let me show you how. You can see here, after this the next step can be like this, minus v naught square, that is this is 0, so we no need to write for that, is equal to minus a into 2 into ds, that is minus 2a ds. Minus minus cancel out. Now making subject ds, this 2a can be here on a left side, so it is v naught square upon twice of a, you can see here, and in one side there is ds. So this is a simple mathematics. Actually I need not to show this type of things, you can easily understand from this step to this step. So this is the formula for the stopping distance. Here you can see that this stopping distance is directly proportional to initial velocity, square of initial velocity, because when the acceleration is constant, if we remove this constant term, we can write that ds, that is stopping distance, is directly proportional to square of initial velocity. Now next example is about reaction time. This example you can also perform practically. Now students, what is this reaction time? So here it is given that reaction time is the time a person takes to observe, think and act. Means it is a time difference between the observation and act. For example, here it is given that if a person is driving and suddenly a boy appears on the road, then the time elapsed between, that is elapsed means time passed between or time difference between this observation and the application of brake. That means a person who is driving a vehicle, he observes a boy on the road which suddenly appeared in front of his vehicle. So it is a time between the observation and application of the brake. He observed a boy suddenly on a road and he applied the brake. So some time difference is there between that. So that is called the reaction time. Now this reaction time depends on different situation and the capability of individual. If the person is quite active, he will take less reaction time, and if the person is less active, the reaction time is less. And we know that, students, the brain of different persons are different. Their thinking capability is also different. And so human to human or person to person, this reaction time may vary. Now here, if you want to check what is your reaction time, then here a method is given that ask your friend to drop a scale or a ruler vertically downward direction. So this is your friend, he is holding a ruler, and this is you. The scale is suspended by this person, and you have not holded this scale, just you have kept the scale in between the thumb and the fingers. The scale is not in contact with your thumb or a finger. Now what will happen? This person will just release the ruler or a scale. Now you observe this person releasing the scale and you are reacting, means you are now just holding it. This person is releasing the scale, you have observed him to release the scale and you just reacted to pick it. So there will be little time difference between the observation and the act of holding the scale. So that time can be obtained. So that is a reaction time. Now here the calculation is given. We know that we want to find time t, that is reaction time. The ruler or the scale is in a free fall condition and the acceleration in free fall is minus 9.8 meter per second. Initial velocity was 0. A person is holding the scale, so when he releases it, initially the velocity was 0. So we know the initial velocity, we know the acceleration, and when you hold this scale, it will move in the downward direction, so it will travel some distance. It will take some distance, so that distance can be obtained from the ruler, and so distance can be measured. Suppose initially the scale is kept at a 0 point here, and if this person is released that scale and if you hold it, suppose this scale is reached to this point, till you hold the scale it reached from this point to this point, so we can say this much distance is traveled. So we can find this distance practically. So now students, once again, reaction time is a time interval between observation and reaction, that is reflex action. You know what is reflex action? That is reaction time. Now calculating this reaction time for a scale released vertically and caught with the thumb and finger. Students, once again, a scale is shown here. Its one end is here, the other end is holded by some person. Now this person is releasing this scale and the next person is just catching that scale, and so this scale is reached till this point, and time taken for that is reaction time. Distance covered is taken minus d. Why minus? You know that it is moving in the downward direction. Acceleration due to gravity is also taken negative, and so using kinematic equation number 3, to obtain this reaction time, x is equal to v naught t plus half at square. Initial velocity was 0, so this term will become 0. Displacement is along the y-axis and we have taken that as d. So that displacement in the downward direction, so it is minus d, so displacement is minus d. Initial velocity was 0, so this term will become 0. Acceleration a is minus g, and this time is taken as reaction time, so here a small r is written. Now making a subject tr here. If you make this subject tr, you will get tr is equal to root of 2d upon g. Now this type of simple mathematics now you can do, because earlier also we did this type of mathematics. Now suppose the person has released the scale or a ruler and you picked up. During that interval, suppose the distance traveled by the scale in the downward direction is 21 centimeter. Suppose this much distance. For person to person, this distance may change. So putting this distance d as 21 centimeter, putting this g as 9.8, we can calculate this. Students, remember this g, value of g is in meter per second, that is SI system. Here this distance is in centimeter, so 21 centimeter is to be converted into meter. So we know that we have to divide it by 100, so it will be 0.21 meter, 0.21 meter. And so we have simply put the values here. 2 as it is, distance 0.21 meter, g 9.8, and calculating and then taking square root, you will get 0.2 second. So here the reaction time is 0.2 second. I hope you understood this. You can do this practically also at your home and find your reaction time. So on an average, the reaction time of average person is 0.2 second. If you are taking less time than this, then you are more active. Your calculation power should also be more. If the time taken is less than this, you can calculate easily, more effectively, because your brain is working very fast, we can say.